Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So, Manchester United have renewed their interest in Erling Haaland from Borussia Dortmund, and according to The Athletic, he is Solskjaer's priority target. Now, don't forget, we missed out on Erling Haaland back in January, and I said it was a shame that we missed out on him because it would have been an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer type signing. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows the player well, because Solskjaer was the one that gave Erling Haaland his debut at just the age of 16 at Mould. Now, Haaland does have around a £68 million release clause, but it is not active until 2022. He is only the age of 20. I think he has got a contract with Dortmund until 2024. I think Dortmund only paid around, was it 17 or 18 million pounds for him. And earlier on this month, he scored his first hat-trick for Norway. Real Madrid have also been in for Erling Haaland before. It also says that we want Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. So them two players will definitely cost us over £100 million. They'd probably cost us around £176 million for both players. So that's the breaking news on that. Now, I want to delve into some news on Paul Pogba. It's here in the Sun. It's also in the Daily Mail as well. It says Paul Pogba has reportedly quit international football after comments from French President Emmanuel Macron alleging that Islam was the source of international terrorism. The Manchester United stars allegedly made a decision following the remarks on Friday from his country's leader. And the French government's decision to honour the teacher who published offensive images of the Prophet Muhammad, which Pogba reportedly resented, are also said to be behind the move. So yeah, there you go. Now, I'm expecting Paul Pogba to leave Manchester United next summer. Now, a few weeks ago, Paul Pogba made an admission saying that one day his dream is to join Real Madrid. He was talking a lot about Real Madrid last year and Zinedine Zidane, and he said, he wanted to leave Manchester United because he was seeking for a new challenge. Mundo Deportivo said the other week that Barcelona were interested in Pogba. There's obviously been narratives of him going back to Juventus. Pogba did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus, but the vast majority of his performances at Man United have been totally comparison to his ones at Juventus. Now, we've already warned Paul Pogba that we will not break our wage structure to keep him at Old Trafford, so we're not willing to pay him what we paid like Alexis Sanchez. Pogba at the moment is on around 290 grand a week on his current contract, and we are willing to give him a pay rise. Was it the other week we triggered that 1-year extension on Paul Pogba's contract, so that keeps him at the football club until June 2022. This was also confirmed by Fabrizio Romano, so obviously now next summer we can cash in for the player rather than letting go on a 3. Now, Solskjaer made an admission regarding Paul Pogba yesterday, like he updated you on, and he said he came back too soon from coronavirus. Pogba got tested positive for coronavirus back in August. Now, in our last 3 games, he has started on the bench. He hasn't enjoyed the best of starts to this season anyway. This season is his 5th season at Manchester United since he rejoined from Juventus back in 2016. As it stands at the moment, he's our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for him. Pogba sustained quite a few injuries during his Man United career. He had an ankle injury last season, for the vast majority of last season, didn't really have a perception on him. He did okay towards the end of last season. He did quite well in that 3-month period when Solskjaer was the interim manager. He has made over 100 appearances for us in all competitions. You know, he's won the Europa League and the League Cup with Man United. That came in his first season. If we sell Paul Pogba next summer, I think we'll probably get from between 60 to 70 million. We'll find it difficult to get more than the 89 million that we paid for him. We was critical of Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, at the turn of the year. Main explanation is because he publicly criticised Solskjaer and Manchester United. Didn't he? So that's the breaking news on Paul Pogba. Now, is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer good enough as Manchester United manager? Now, I think there's quite a lot of Manchester United fans that don't think he's good enough. You know, there's still some Manchester United fans on the other side of things saying that, you know, he does deserve more time. Now, like I've said to you, Solskjaer hasn't got a proven pedigree, has he? Manchester United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. Obviously, before he was with us, he was at Mould. He won a few Norwegian titles with Mould. And before he was at Mould, he was at Cardiff. And his record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. The main explanation he got sacked from Cardiff is because he ended up getting Cardiff relegated. But reflecting on how long he's been at Manchester United, he's gained managerial experience. You know, he's been at the football club now almost 2 years. You know, we appointed Solskjaer in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. And he's been permanent Manchester United manager since March 2019. Now, I think Solskjaer's decision making is very, very poor. In a lot of his games at Manchester United, he's been tactically naive. But on the other side of things, there's some games where he showed a lot of tactical flexibility. That's obviously come in a lot of the big games, hasn't it? But in the game against Chelsea recently, Solskjaer got it wrong. You know, he started Daniel James against Chelsea. That was a surprise. He also started Juan Mata. I was surprised that Juan Mata started. I said he'd be involved, but I didn't think he'd have started. You know, a lot of United fans were expecting Solskjaer to put Rashford on the left, Greenwood on the right and Cavani up top, but that obviously didn't happen. In the Chelsea game, there was no Donny van der Beek involved at all. Donny van der Beek should have played against Chelsea. You know, he's not even yet made his full Premier League debut for the football club. Solskjaer was talking about Donny van der Beek, about his lack of playing time, and he says that, you know, Van der Beek will get his chances. He will get his chances. And he needs to settle in, needs to adapt. And Solskjaer's considering what his best position would be, because he can play in like 3 different roles. But Donny van der Beek's predominantly a box-to-box midfielder. You know, we paid £40 million for Donny van der Beek from Ajax. You know, he signed, a 5-year contract with Man United with an option of a further year. And he currently wears that number 34 shirt. You know, Paul Pogba was benched again. Alex Telles, he didn't play any part in the Chelsea game. I was expecting Telles to make his Premier League debut for the football club against Chelsea. I think Alex Telles is going to be a good signing for Man United because I thought he did well on his debut against PSG. We got Telles for just over £15 million with add-ons included, and he signed a 4-year contract with us with an option of a further year. Axel Tuanzebe, he didn't play any part in the Chelsea game, and I said he should have been given another chance because Axel Tuanzebe was very, very impressive in the PSG game. That game against PSG was his first start in 10 months. And Solskjaer was talking about Tuanzebe prior to the game, the Chelsea game, yeah. And he said he's challenged Axel Tuanzebe to add consistency to ensure that he has a long career at Man United. But obviously Solskjaer's hopeful that he can remain injury-free because he has sustained quite a few injuries. You know, Greenwood didn't start against Chelsea but came on late. Fred McTominay, you know, they started for the third game in a row. So yeah, selections are poor. Solskjaer obviously reverted back to the 4-2-3-1 formation. You know, he's gone a lot with that formation though since he got appointed in as Manchester United manager. A few times gone with a 4-3-3, a few times gone with 3 at the back front. But from my own perception, we look more effective with 3 at the back. You know what I mean? We've played 5 league games so far this season. We've won 2. You know, we've beaten Brighton and Newcastle. We've lost 2. We lost to Palace on the opening day and we lost to Tottenham. And we've drawn 1. You know, recently drew with Chelsea 0-0. So, reflecting on this, we are around, 15th in the Premier League table. So, we are near the relegation zone. And I said to you, didn't I, that Solskjaer is in the exact same position as what he was in at the first part of last season, because at the first part of last season we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season, didn't we? And a few weeks ago, before these wins against Newcastle and PSG, you know, Solskjaer was under series pressure. And obviously there was talks of Mauricio Pochettino coming in, and there was also talks of Massimiliano Allegri coming in. Well, we was looking at Massimiliano Allegri as an alternative to Mauricio Pochettino. We reflect on them wins against Newcastle and PSG, a lot of pressure eased off Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and even Woodward said a few weeks ago he's prepared to sack him if things don't improve. But like I said to you, I want his managerial tenure to work out because he's a club legend. He was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under Alex Ferguson's guidance. He's nearly managed 100 games now as Manchester United manager. Or has he managed 100 games? I know that he's won over 50 games as Man United manager. He has got a contract with us until 2022, so just under 2 years left on his contract. This season is his second full season at Manchester United, Solskjaer's. And I said to you, didn't I, at the beginning of this season, Solskjaer has got to exceed his expectations. You know, I think he's got to guide us to a top 4 finish and win a trophy if he's to keep his job at Manchester United. And I think it's very imperative that we do win a trophy because a club of our size, you know, want to be winning silverware, and we have not yet won out in terms of silverware under Ollie, and we haven't won a trophy for over 3 years. Like I said to you, if Solskjaer is still Manchester United manager in January, he does need backing because he was not backed enough at all in the summer transfer window. Like I said, you know, we missed out on all of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priority targets. We missed out on a lot of targets in general. And I don't think any of the managers have been backed enough that we've had, you know, since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. You know, Moyes wasn't backed enough, Van Gaal wasn't backed enough, and Jose Mourinho wasn't backed enough. And, you know, Solskjaer hasn't been backed enough, has he? But Woodward did recently say that he's backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in a lengthy statement. I think that's reflecting on our latest financial results, isn't it? But, a lot of Manchester United fans have been demanding the board out. Obviously, Woodward's been at the club since 2012, and the Glazers have been at the football club since 2005. So Woodward's been with us around 8 years or so, and the Glazers have been with us around 15 years or so, haven't they? But our recruitment policy has been poor for several years. Now, next year, obviously, we'll be looking to make a couple of more signings. I think it's very imperative Man United get a centre-half in, because we do need a centre-half. We need someone to go alongside Harry Maguire. We'll also offload players next year. I think next year we'll be looking to offload Jesse Lingard, Marcus Rojo, Phil Jones, Sergio Romero. He's open to leaving the club. He's now our third choice goalkeeper. By the way, I think we could loan Daniel James out. We could also loan Brandon Williams out, because he lost his place now in the team following the arrival of Alex Telles. Lindelof could be sold next year. Pogba is expected to leave next summer. Fred, do you think he could be offloaded next year? Matic could be. Matic has now lost his place in the team. Juan Mata, he could also be offloaded, couldn't he? So, there you go. Solskjaer has endured, I think, 4 transfer windows at Manchester United. In his first transfer windows, Man United manager didn't recommend anyone in. But in his first transfer window, which was the summer of 2019, he brought Daniel James, Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January this year, he brought Bruno Fernandes in, and he brought Odi Nagalo in on loan. And in this the summer transfer window of this year, he brought Donny van de Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Facundo Pellistri, and he brought Amad Traore in. Amad Traore will be joining the football club in January. He's from Atlanta. So Solskjaer has spent over £200 million since he became Manchester United manager. A lot of the young players have been given their chances as well since Solskjaer got appointed in, but Solskjaer did say that, the young players will get given their chances. So I like the way that he's promoted the youth. We've seen a lot of players depart the club since he got recommended in as well. So he's got rid of the deadwood, but there's still deadwood in the squad. And we've also had some good periods under the Solskjaer era, haven't we? Did well in that 3-month period when he was the temporary boss. Went on a 19-game unbeaten run. Was it at the second part of last season? That was in all competitions, that 19-game unbeaten run. And we also went on a 14-game unbeaten run in the Premier League, didn't we? Last season, I credit Solskjaer for what he did, because last season got us 3rd place finish, 2nd highest we finished since the Ferguson era. Also guided us to 3 semi-finals. And got us qualification for the Champions League, didn't he? Didn't he? Yeah. We've got tough games coming up now. Obviously, we've got RP Leipzig in the Champions League. It's our 2nd game in the group stage. That's on Wednesday. RP Leipzig are last season's semi-finalists in the Champions League. Then obviously we've got Arsenal at the weekend. That's going to be another tough game, but they've just recently lost to Leicester 1-0. Then it's Istanbul Başakşehir. That's our other opponent in the Champions League group stage. And then it's Everton. So games are coming up thick and fast for Manchester United, aren't they? Like I said, in the last 7 years, we have been playing catch-up. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. Last time won it was in Ferguson's last season. We've only won 4 trophies since Ferguson retired. That was the FA Cup under Van Gaal, the Europa League, the League Cup, and the Community Shield under Mourinho. That came in Mourinho's first season. Obviously, we've had different managers with different philosophies. 3 managers have been sacked since Ferguson. That was Moyes, Louis Van Gaal, and Jose Mourinho. So Ollie's our 4th permanent manager since the Ferguson era. We spent nearly £1 billion on players, and we've recruited over 30 odd players in since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. So there you go. In the entirety of our history, I think we must have won around 60 odd trophies, but I think since the Ferguson era, we've won like 40 odd trophies. We won 38 of them, 38 of the trophies under the Sir Alex Ferguson era, didn't we? I think it'd also be very, very beneficial if Manchester United could get a director of football in, because I said that's one of the structural changes that we need at the football club, a director of football. And it really says that we've made our decision on what director of football want to hire in, and that's Luis Campos. He's the Lille director. He's a former Monaco director, and he used to be a scout at Real Madrid. But if we had to get a director of football in, like I've said before, we need someone who knows the club inside out and someone who's got that experience. And been in the process of trying to get a director of football in since like the Jose Mourinho era, haven't we? And there's been a few former Manchester United players though linked with that role, hasn't there? But I think, we've got good players in our team. There's definitely, players that have improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era, to be fair. That's one thing, I will say. Now, I've got to be honest, I think, Marcus Rashford's really, really improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Marcus Rashford was recently the hero in Paris, scored late on for the second time in Paris. He was unlucky not to score in the Chelsea game recently because he had 2 fantastic chances. Rashford did have an ankle injury at the start of the season. He also had a back injury last season when he was out for a few months. I think he's a foreseeable future for Man United. I really, really do. Rashford's now nearly 23 and he's been a United player since the age of 7 and been in our senior squad since 2016. But Rashford's really improved, like I said, he creates chances better, his finishing's improved, he can get good runs in behind. That's very, very good to see. Martial's improved under the Solskjaer era. Well, he was good last season under Solskjaer. He hasn't enjoyed the best of starts to this season, though, but there's still plenty of time yet. Don't forget Anthony Martial is suspended at the moment, isn't he? Because he got sent off in our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham. Shouldn't have been sent off, but did get sent off. But he's served 2 games in league, so he's got 1 game to serve and then his suspension's over. Martial was very, very good in his debut season under the Louis Van Gaal era. Martial's enjoyed around 5 years or so at the football club, hasn't he? Obviously, he has been wearing the number 9 for Manchester United, hasn't he, Martial? I also got to say, Greenwood, very, very good player. Solskjaer, don't forget, recently defended Mason Greenwood, didn't he? And blasts our ex-players for criticising him. And in his press conference prior to the Chelsea game, he denied that Mason Greenwood's timekeeping was poor. He also said that the English media are starting to go after him. We had a few issues with Mason Greenwood, haven't we? He got dropped from the England squad a few times. At the start of the season, we give him the number 11 shirt, so he's the 4th Manchester United player to wear the number 11. But I think he's a foreseeable future for us. I also think, Bruno Fernandes, very, very good. He's probably the best signing we've made under Ole. He's one of the best signings we've made since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Bruno Fernandes wasn't so good in the Chelsea game. Did look dangerous when he had the ball, but it's probably one of his quietest games as a Manchester United player. There has been a couple of games where he has looked a bit off the pace, but analysing the vast majority of his games so far, he's been very consistent. Let's be honest, the vast majority of his goals have come from the penalty spot. Was it last season? Won Premier League Player of the Month around 3 times. Won some Matt Busby Player of the Year award as well. Was it reflecting on his good run of performances? And Bruno Fernandes has been at the football club now around 9 months, hasn't he? And a few weeks ago he denied that he had a bust-up with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I also think, that Fred and McTominay are good. Obviously, they're not world class. Obviously, they're nowhere near on Bruno Fernandes' level, obviously, but they're still they're still good. Just like I said, they started our last 3 games, haven't been too bad, to be honest with you. Fred has improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Fred has been at the club now a few years, got him from Shakhtar Donetsk for £52 million. Fred has got a contract with us until 2023, hasn't he? And as for Scott McTominay, I have been critical of him before, but I've got to credit him recently because recently, he's kept the ball well, he's broke up the play well. He committed his future in Man United anyway because after the first lockdown, he signed a 5-year contract with the football club. Nemanja Matic, obviously he's aging up now. He's lost his pace. To be honest with you, he's always been a slow player, really, hasn't he? But I thought he had some good games towards the end of last season, did Matic. Was it before the start of the season? He signed a 3-year deal with Man United. We got Matic in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea. And he's been at the club now a good 3 years or so as Matic. He has. Donny van der Beek, like I said, he needs to get starts. Alex Tellez, I've already said he'll be a good signing for Man United. Luke Shaw, he has improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. I think he's a good left back. Luke Shaw, do honestly. Just my element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he is injury prone. He is. He's been at the club now around 6 years or so. Paid £30 million in from Southampton back in 2014. Luke Shaw, though, has done well in his last 3 games, something. But I think at the start of the season wasn't that good, to be honest with you, Luke Shaw. And Wan-Bissaka, he's also a good player. Didn't enjoy the best of starts to the season, but in his last 3 games, Wan-Bissaka has really, really stepped it up. He's made good tackles. He showed some good attacking intent. He obviously scored in the Newcastle game. That was his first goal for Manchester United, and it was his 50th appearance against Newcastle. And it was obviously his first senior goal as well, and Wan-Bissaka's. But I think he can be our right back for the next 9 to 10 years. I really, really do. De Gea, I've also got to give him a lot of credit because he's done really, really well in his last 3 games. Made some very, very good saves. And against Chelsea, kept his first clean sheet. I said David De Gea will remain our number 1 this season. He's been long serving at Man United because this is his 10th season at the football club. Harry Maguire, he's done well recently. He didn't do too bad against Chelsea, but was obviously lucky to not give a penalty away for pulling Azpilicueta back. And he did well in the Newcastle game, didn't he? Harry Maguire did have early season troubles because he got an injury. He obviously got sent off in England's defeat to Denmark. And he had that incident in Greece the other month. There's still aspects of his game that I've obviously got to improve. We overpaid for Maguire because we got him for £80 million from Leicester. So he's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment and the second most expensive signing at the club. And obviously he's our captain. Victor Lindelof, not world class, can have some good games, but he's obviously enjoyed a lot of bad games as a Man United player. As Victor Lindelof, I've got a lot of element of concerns about him, to be honest with you, but he's done okay recently. Eric Bailly's a very good centre-half, but he's just too injury-prone. He's Eric Bailly. He's out for 3 to 4 weeks now with a muscle injury. He's Eric Bailly. And he sustained the injury whilst he was on international duty with the Ivory Coast, did Eric Bailly, didn't he? Juan Mata, I think, he's a very, very good player. He's obviously lost that yard of pace now because Juan Mata is in his 30s. Juan Mata doesn't get a lot of chances now, to be honest with you, does he? He's done well in the games he's played in, though. He did well in both Cowbell Cup games against Brighton and Luton. Also did well in the Newcastle game. He had a good chance in the Chelsea game as well, which produced a fantastic save from Mendy. Juan Mata's enjoyed a good 6 years or so at Manchester United, paid just under £40 million in from Chelsea back in 2014. He's got 50 goals for us in 259 appearances, something like that, in all competitions. And the other week, Juan Mata rejected an £18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. But there's also players at Manchester United that are not good enough to represent the club, obviously, and this is why we're going to offload more players next year. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop me comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.